Hey guys, it's your girl Tyra Crush back with another review, and this time it is for the Xscape and SWV reality series. If you haven't already, please hit my subscribe button down at the bottom. Thank you so very much. And I'm gonna be real honest with you. I don't know why I didn't review this from the beginning. One of my most successful videos on my channel is my SWV Xscape versus battle video that I did, and these two groups are very near and dear to my heart. Of course, I am a 90s teenager, so my teenage years were spent in the 90s, late 80s, 90s, and so these two girl groups were pinnacle in my development as a woman, in my ability to get over certain heartbreaks, in my ability to be able to voice how I was feeling about that man. I'm just saying, they were very pinnacle. So I'm supposed to be doing this. Okay, so I want to go ahead and get into this review because this series is going to be very revealing, I can tell, especially between the Scott sisters, because there's a lot of deep-seated stuff there that I just wasn't aware of. Now, my heart goes out to Tamika. She was always my favorite member. Even back in the day, she had the short hair and the kind of ragged look, and she was just dope to me. She reminded me a lot of myself. So, and people used to always say that she was the one that couldn't sing, but she could sing beautifully. In fact, she's my son's favorite member of Xscape as well. So apparently she's been living in her sister's shadow, Latasha. Now, Latasha is very talented. She was considered the big one back in the day. And so I'm sure she had, you know, her own little hang-ups because of that. I mean, she was never really, you know, she's never really fat, but you know, that's the way we looked at her, because she had a round face, and it was like, and she had a little extra meat on her bones, which people would pay for today, let's just be honest. And the other girls was more, you know, bony. So she always, I think, had a chip on her shoulder when it came to that. And of course, everybody loved her voice because she sings beautifully. And you know, certain people kind of want to root for the big girl, and there's nothing wrong with that, because again, she's talented. And you know, I'm one of those people that likes to root for the big girl because she needs this just as much, you know, respect as anybody else, right? We agree? Cool. But what I didn't know was that she was as much of a diva as she is. And I knew she had some diva in her because I do remember her trying to go solo back in the day. I just didn't know the full cusp of why she was trying to go solo, and I may have even been for her going solo. But let me tell you, I am not for her going solo. We do not, well, I'm going to speak for myself. I do not want to see you on an R&B album, Latasha. That ship has sailed. And to any group out there, if we meet you in a group, I'm going to say 999 times out of 1,000, we only want to see you in that group. And that one exception is Beyonce. Okay? So if you are not Beyonce Knowles, I'm sorry, Beyonce Giselle Knowles, whatever her middle name is, then I'm talking to you. Because Beyonce is the only one that when we saw her in the group, we knew she was going to go solo and we was ready for it. Okay? So for Latasha to continue to try to break the group, even knowing, you know, the history that they are making, coming back and going on tour and actually giving people like myself good music to go and listen to live, I'm very upset with her because she is being super selfish. And it's like, it's not even like don't do your own, you know, solo album. If you want to do a solo gospel album, fine, but quit treating people like you're better than them, because you're not. I do not like it. I do not like their mother, how she treats Tamika. She is absolutely favoring Tasha. And last week, I saw when they were having their discussion before, you know, Tamika came out and spoke about, you know, them stealing money from her. Her mother said behind her back, she's jealous of you. Why would a mother say that to one daughter about the other daughter in the midst of a disagreement? If that ain't favoritism and bias, I don't know what it is, because I'm telling you, there's nothing at all that Tamika needs to be jealous of Tasha for. Nothing. Not her looks, not her voice, not anything. Because Tamika is bad in her looks. Tamika is bad in her voice. Tamika is just as good as Latasha, but their mother doesn't see it that way. And I know what it feels like to feel like, you know, your sibling is loved more than you are. And I was just so proud of Tamika when she said, if you can't start to respect me as a grown-up and actually hear about my feelings and you know, sympathize with my feelings, then I'm just going to have to take a step back. And that's what you all got to do. Listen. Your mother is your mother. You only get one, but not everybody's mother is equipped to be that nurturer that they need to be. Sometimes mothers are jealous of their daughters. I believe that this particular mother doesn't like her daughter because, again, like she said, she reminds her of her husband, and her husband left her for dead. And she's still mad about that. So her mother has a lot of healing to do. A lot of healing. And when she gave that little weak, and I'm going to say weak apology, if you feel like I was more of a mother to Latasha than I was to you, well, then I'm sorry. That's not how you apologize. I mean, is it just me? Or should it have been more like, oh, baby, I'm so sorry. Ain't no if she's showing you that she is hurting. Don't do y'all babies like that. Because look, I'm a mother of 4. And there's times where I feel like I'm loving on one more than the others. Do I feel like I love them any different? No, but at times I show favoritism. It's only human nature. You know, out of 4 kids, 1 is going to be more aligned with me. We have the same sign. You know what I'm saying? So that child, we relate better than the other 3. And then I got another child, she's the only female. So of course I won't relate to her. So it's for different reasons, but we just have to be real and honest with ourselves and never negate your child's feelings. The look on Tamika's face said everything. She was not lying. She was not embellishing anything. And the girl is tired. I've been there with my mother and had to step away from her for a couple of years because I didn't feel like she appreciated me and I needed her to miss me because I was tired. And it was at a point where I knew I'd done everything that I could to help our relationship grow and blossom, but I can't make her be the mother that I need her to be or I want her to be. She's got to be who she's going to be, and then I have to decide whether or not I want to deal with that or not. Because it's really hard to teach an old dog new tricks. And what's that African proverb? A fool at 40 is a fool for life. So, yeah, they go hand in hand. So, moving on from the Tamika situation, and again, I am very proud of her for putting a foot down with her mother. And her mother kind of had to take a step and say, whoa, she's trying to get away from me. Yeah. Because if she get away from you, I would say, girl, go get your money. Make that man pay you your money back. That's what you need to do. Okay, and I'm glad that, you know, Taj was able to tell Candy about Latasha's plans to go and start her own solo career because she tells Taj before she even tells her band members. That's how selfish this girl is. She goes all the way to Nashville to meet with Motown and doesn't even tell anybody in her group, but meets with the other person in the group that they're trying to tour with. I said, this girl here, she is a piece of work. Her husband ain't no better. And then I'm hearing about him. He got a whole side chick and a side baby. What? You mean to tell me Latasha Scott's husband is out here humping around? His last name Bivens. I wonder, is he related to Michael Bivens? Ain't no telling. Either way, I just don't feel like she should be leaning so much on him and listening to everything that he has to say and doing exactly what he says because he is cheating on her. She be a doggone fool. Now, of course, it's all alleged. He's allegedly cheating on her and allegedly has a baby on the way. Some blogs say that he does not have a baby on the way with his side chick, but that is still confirming that he has a side chick. So, whatever. And then we have Lily. Lily is, I would say, one of the other 2 girls in SWV because SWV is really Coco. That's the lead singer. It's her voice that you hear on all the songs. And then you got the other 2 that pretty much back her up. And they can sing as well, but, you know, Coco is that powerhouse. Now, it's not the same with Xscape because both Candy and and Latasha would basically lead songs, but Kandi led more songs than Tasha did between their albums. But Lily is dope. I really love her spirit. I love her personality. I just love what she brings to the table. What she say, I'm not his friend. Sometimes he'd be like, Leanne. Like, she's like, he's not talking to me. You gonna call me by the name that you was first given to give me. Mom, mommy, mama. I was like, that's right. And plus, Lily was the one that told them that they needed to grow up and figure out this money. And so I really like her, and I want to see where her story goes. Because she said that she's a sexual being. I ain't going to say what she called herself, but I could fully relate. Okay. And then, I do also want to speak about her story of homelessness. That was touching, and it kind of hit home. She said she used to have to ride around till like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and then she would go and sleep in the parking lot of Yankee Stadium in her car because she was trying to minimize, her chances of being raped after being out on the streets. And so it gets real. She said, but after that, she had even contemplated suicide, but put herself out of it, and is here today. So that was just touching to me. And again, like I said, you never know what people go through when you meet or encounter them. That's why you should just give people grace just in case. Oh, I like that. Give grace just in case. Y'all can use that because I'm going to put it on the t-shirt. I ain't even going to hold you. Okay, and so Coco has a son named Jalen. Jalen is a sweetheart, but Jalen is trying to quit dentistry school, right? He's trying to quit school so that he can sing. And according to Coco, he just decided and started singing the day before, which probably means he's only been practicing about a month or so. But he's ready to drop out of school and just be a singer. And she's not for it at all. And he's just like, well, I don't feel like I should have to do what I don't want to do. And I would just be like, well, I don't feel like I should have to take care of a person that don't want to go to school. I feel like you need to move out, sir. If you're 19, right? You are totally old enough to make your own decisions. You ain't got to take my money and go to dental school, but you ain't going to be living under my roof either. You're too grown for that. You need to go on and get your own spot. You was only able to live here while you were in school. And that's just that on that. And that would be the end of that conversation. Like, bro, you ain't got to go to school, but you ain't going to be living here either. And if you're going to be living here, I need $1,500 a month in rent. When do you go to work? Yes, I need you. I need my money. And that's how you handle that, because if you have a plan and y'all had a plan and he just wants to renege on it, we know how fickle kids can be, then that's the way I would handle it. You don't have to like it. That's the way I would handle it, though. And I wouldn't be mad at Coco if she handled it the same way, because these kids sometimes need to appreciate what they do have. Like my son, I spent over $20,000 on him in a year and a half in school, and he decided that he just didn't want to go anymore. I'm not going to argue with you, but when you decide to go back, don't call me. I don't have any funding for you. You wasted my money. Okay, so, but that was your prerogative. See, I don't tell my kids what to do. I don't dictate their lives, because they're not going to blame me if things don't go the way they wanted to go. They're going to blame themselves because they made their own decisions. I'm just going to support them anytime their decision is not like illegal. Then I'm going to, be there for them as much as I can. But so I just feel like Mr. Jalen needs to absolutely get his own everything, because he's very, very borderline rude in the way he speaks. And so, yeah, it's time for you to get out there on your own, sweetheart. And the last thing I want to touch on was the meeting. So SWV called a meeting because their management was basically like, we need to figure out this Xscape thing, because we only have like a month to plan for it. So if we're going to do this concert, we need to figure it out now. So they get to the meeting, and Tasha actually shows up, unbeknownst to anybody. She actually does show up. And she actually eventually puts her hand in the middle, because they said put your hands in the middle if you're down for one big show. And so they agreed on that. And then immediately Kandi goes to, well, who's going to headline the bill? And I guess Coco was like, huh? She said, because we've been headlining our own tours. And so we was definitely looking to headline this one. Now, I ain't the smartest woman in the world. I absolutely favor Xscape music. Now, there's some bangers on SWV side that are undeniable. And I wouldn't even try to deny them. Because like I said, I love both groups. But as far as the whole, the music, I'm more of an Xscape fan. But I can understand that Xscape has never been on a world tour. SWV has been on a world tour. They've been overseas more times than we can count. And they've sold 3 times, maybe 4 times as many records as SWV. I mean, as Xscape. So I'm really failing to see why they would make such a big deal out of not co-headlining. They don't even want to co-headline. And I really don't get that. I get that they're, you know, Tiny and Candy's popularity is a little larger than the other girls, because I think only Taj has even been on a reality show. I remember her being on something with her husband, Eddie George, at some point. So I don't know. I was very disappointed. And, you know, and I definitely felt Coco when she was like, I done sold 30 million albums. I'm not opening for nobody. I don't blame her. So I don't know. Hopefully they can agree to the co-headline, because Candy, honey, no, don't do that. We're not going to do that. We're not doing that. Now you about to get in the way of the legacy. Can't have that, okay? So we're just going to have to wait and see how it all chalks up next week, because SWV is ready to walk away from the table, just like, you know, Xscape was ready to walk away from Tasha if she didn't show up for the meet, which I think we see from the preview, she gonna dip out anyway, which I don't even know why you even came if you knew that's what you was gonna do in the long run. They don't need you. They don't need you. And in fact, if you don't go, they get more money, because it's split 3 ways instead of 4. So go on, girl. Go on, girl. Go on, girl. Find your happiness. Somebody gonna buy the music. I mean, somebody gonna buy it. Just not I. So that's it for this review. I'm gonna cut it off right there. And I'm gonna ask you one more time to please hit my subscribe button down at the bottom. Okay, guys, and you know, my 2 shows that I normally review are on hiatus. So if there are any shows, movies, whatever you want me to review, drop it in the comments and I will get to it. And I may have already watched it and just haven't reviewed it, because I've watched a lot of stuff and just haven't reviewed it. So expect for random stuff to be reviewed on this channel, probably 1 season at a time. But I got you, okay? Because we can't go radio silent. We have come too far, okay? All right, and if you're not the type that likes to subscribe to channels, it's cool. You got to the end of this video, and that's more than I can ask of anybody. So thank you. And that is my $5.02. Peace.